Hey guys, how you guys doing today? What's up guys? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another AK Adventures MBTA. Welcome back to my channel. Today is February 19th, 2026, and as you can see outside, it's a little bit starting to melt. The snow's gonna melt more, and just about right now, it's either it's gonna rain tonight, or if it's gonna snow. But I am helping a lot of neighbors out, so that's great. But that's not what our focus is on right now, or that's what we're not talking about right now. We'll talk about that in the next video. So, welcome back to another AK Adventures, and today I'm going to talk about what motorcycles should not be operating on, or how this affects me when I'm like riding my scooter, or how I see them on the sidewalk. So, yeah, let's begin. So, let's start with another video of how police pulls over a motorcycle. I'm going to pretend to be the police, and then we'll get started with the rest. But if you guys ready, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, subscribe. Alright, let's start. Sorry about that, guys. My voice is a little bit itchy, but let's get started. So, I'm going to be the police. Alright. Hello, sir. Reason why we're stopping you is because you can't ride down the sidewalk if it's a 50cc, which means that that you're not allowed to be on it, or it has to be registered. And yeah, that's why they pull you over. So, reason why the police pulls you over is because that you can't ride that on a sidewalk, because the sidewalk is not safe. And if you're riding on the street with it, if it's motorized, then it's considered as motorized. You have to get a license, and a lot of people have the right to be upset. They have a right to be upset with you because you're riding on their property, which you're not supposed to be doing. So, I watched a video the other day, and I'm seeing a lot of cops pulling over motorcycles or any other bikers. Let's talk about bikers. I'm talking about the person with the helmet. So, the person with the helmet I'm seeing is like riding on the sidewalk, and they're like cutting cars off and be getting tagged by cars, by these motorcycle people. Motorcycles are getting tagged by cars. So what I watched the video is, and it's about to be like a thing I'm talking about, or a thing I can repeat. So let's begin. As that motorcycle person rode on the highway in the snow and did get caught. So let's start. So I'm gonna begin this. Yeah, you ain't riding on the highway with that thing. Sorry, it's a 50cc, you know, what do you mean? It's a 50cc. I mean, I'm pretending. Yeah, sir, you're not riding on the highway with that thing. And that's good, because they tell you that you're not riding on the highway with that thing, which means you can't ride it, because it's street legal to be riding in Lynn, Massachusetts, and it's street legal to be ridden on the road, and to be driven on the road, because it's not a raceway, it's not a track, it's not like a World Florida 500. It's not a race for everyone to be racing around and annoying other people when they're sleeping. It happens too, and especially with loud music. I'm going to talk about that in the next video. I'm going to make a lot of videos in the next one after I post that one. So let's talk about it. So motorcycles shouldn't just be operating on street, desert, Constitution Beach, private property, public property, where our neighborhood is, neighborhood, street, driveway, lane, biking trail, scooter, biking trail, pedestrian, walkway, bike path, sidewalk, street, road, desert, and grass, and station, in any of that, okay? Because let's begin this. What that guy did the other day when I was with my uncle is the motorcycle person, and I'm saying like the kids are out on these and they're doing proper wheelies, they're cutting cars off, and they're getting tagged by cars. Alright, so they're doing like a proper wheelie, they're doing races around here, they're doing wheelies, they're cutting cars off the road, like going left, and then the driver getting like very angry. And they do have a right to get angry, because you're not supposed to be blocking their lane. And even in the neighborhood too, they have a right to yell at you, saying that you're not allowed on the road, which means that's good, because you're not supposed to be speeding around the road. There's speed signs in a 50-mile-per-hour zone. If they say speed limit 50, just obey it, because I'm not going to be sitting here calling HOA on you either, because I'm not going to be sitting on a time bomb all day calling HOA because you're speeding in my neighborhood and you're playing like your loud music at night with your motorcycle. It happens too. We're going to talk about that. So let's get into it as I'm standing right here, just talking, and want to post this so that everyone can watch this, especially my parents and my friends that I like. So let's begin as we can talk about this. So motorcycles shouldn't just be operating on the street at all, because it's not street legal to be riding in Lynn. It can't be driven on the road because it puts other people at risk. So what I mean by that, it puts other people at risk. And there's a lot of kids out here like crossing the street. There's a little toddlers on the street. There's kids around this neighborhood, and they don't want to deal with the motorcycle noise. So that's just how people are. People have the right to call the authorities on you because you're not supposed to be racing on the street, because it's not a raceway. It's a public street. It's a public driveway, and it's a quiet neighborhood. It's a private neighborhood. It's quiet, and I'm going to ask you, motorcycle person, if you're racing on the street, don't do it again. Can you go somewhere else, please? Because you're racing around my neighborhood, and I can't sleep, and so is the neighbors. Because I am going to call the authorities on you if you don't stop, if you keep revving your engine. That's what they do, is rev their engine all day long. And they like to think it's a game. So drop in the comments, have you ever seen a motorcycle in your neighborhood making all this noise? Or if you ever heard neighbors yelling at the motorcycle or pulling them over? Have you ever get pulled over on a motorcycle when you're going above the speed limit? Let me know in the comments, and let me know what you think of how you guys see it, or how this affects you. Does this affect you in your neighborhood? Because this do with me too. This does affect me as well. And I'm just not going to deal with it no more. So yeah, let's get into it. So if you're riding your motorcycle, it has to be displayed. So if you're riding your motorcycle, it has to get a license. You have to have the license on it. It has to be registered. It has to be paid for it. And you have to get a license on it. You need to have your ID with you, or any personal stuff that you have. Because first of all, the police officer says that, all right, first of all, we can't let you ride it on the street because it's motorized. And first of all, you can't ride it on the road because it's not allowed. And third, you're not allowed to ride it on the sidewalk because it's not safe. Sidewalk is for people, pedestrians, scooter, bikers, pedestrian bikers with helmets on that don't do these things. They're good. So it's only for bikers, scooters, people walking on it when they have to exercise, and a lot of kids as well. No motorcycles because it's motorized unless you have it registered, licensed, you have your ID on you, or your lanyard with you. That's it. No riding on the sidewalk, no street, no road, unless it's registered and you paid for it and you have your thing with you always, because a must is a must, and you cannot ride it on the road, because so is the bikers too. So is the people and a lot of group, because there's a whole group together with motorcycles, and they go all around the street, going this, and they go there. And that's not what we're doing. So I'm going to say, no, we're not doing that on the street. We're not doing that on the road, because you're not riding on the highway without a motorcycle. And I'm sorry, but it's got to be registered. Can't have a license on it. Then the next thing you know is you're going to get a ticket suspension, and the fine will be $150 each. And you'll have to pay $3,000 million for it. And has to be paid for $400 million. So yeah, I think motorcycles should be removed from Lynn and should be in jail so they can serve jail time. So they should go to court, and a trial should be produced by the judge. They should get a trial by the judge, and the judge won't let them out. What you have to do is you can stay in jail for the next 6 months. If they speed around here and do crazy stuff, this is what the consequences will be. And we'll talk about that because we're going to talk about that in like 5 videos I'm going to make. I'm going to make 5 to 10 and to 20 videos. So make sure you guys are ready for this so that I can say what I'm saying and post this so that this could be like something I'm saying to them and something they're not supposed to be doing, because it is street legal to be riding in Pennsylvania as well. Even in Washington, can't ride it on the road as well. I've seen a lot of cars speeding and speeding every day. They like to look on their phones, and it's not good for them. So, yeah, let's talk about that in this video now. So, yeah, what I've said before, just don't race in the sidewalk. Sidewalk is not a good place to ride your thing on, okay? Just ride on somewhere else. Just ride on private property. Ride in your house. Don't ride in my house. Don't ride in my backyard. Don't ride on my sidewalk. Don't ride in my neighbors, because this is my neighbors, and don't ride in my neighbor's yard, because they are going to get the authorities involved, and they're going to yell at you, even if you yelled, or I'm sorry, even if you rode on the sidewalk that you're not supposed to be doing, and they're going to get caught. I'm going to let you know, they're going to get caught. You'll watch, because the minute the police pulls them over, that's it. They're done, and let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. That I see a lot of motorcycles around here. So what will happen is the next thing you ride your motorcycle and there's a car, you can get hit by a car. The next thing the car hits you and you're driving and you have your motorcycle there, you're dead. You're gone. You're done for the rest of your life. If you're rolling in the street, the sidewalk that you're not supposed to be, because they warned you that it's unsafe, you're hit. You're done. You're dead. Like, you're done. And it's the rest of your life. It's the end of your life. Because the motorcycle was responsible for himself. He's responsible for just not racing on the sidewalk, because I think sidewalk is not a game. Sidewalk is only for pedestrians only. It's a walkway for people only. Only for bikers, pedestrians, and for scooters only. No motorcycles riding on the sidewalk, because it's not street legal. And you have to ride on the street with it. If you're riding on the street, then it's considered motorized. You have to have a license for it, at least. Because even if you're riding there, it has to be licensed and it has to be displayed. You can't have that plate like that, because they're not going to recognize your plate, and you can get into a lot of trouble when you're speeding. So someday, bikers, when you get in trouble, you're not going to be trusted by me, because I already did the right thing by just ignoring it, and the things that you're not supposed to be doing, it's not going to be good for you, and you're not going to get trusted or any empathy by me. You're just going to be ignored, and for the rest of your life. And if that's what you want to spend, then that's your loss. That's your problem to deal with, and it's not my problem. It has nothing to do with me. It has something to do with you. Sorry about that. Not you guys. It's the motorcycle people that likes to speed around my neighborhood and a lot of places in Boston that I go to. And I do have the right to yell at them and tell them to, like, why are you speeding in the street? Like, you know, there's cars and there's a train. The next thing, if you get hit by a car or motorcycle, you're done. You're dead. If you get hit by a motorcycle, you go too fast and then a car hits you, you're injured. You're done. You're in the hospital. And we're going to talk about safety in the neighborhood. So, yeah, let's talk about it as I make this video and make this part of my safety video too. So, yeah, I'm making a lot of videos. So the situation is a lot of motorcycles are speeding around here, and it is starting to become a good issue. Not good issue. It's starting to become a bad issue. And my mom has the right to be angry with you, and I just don't know why. So the end of the video. That's the end. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification subscribe button. make sure you guys stay tuned because I don't know when this is ever going to end. I just hope to get caught because I am sick of it and I don't want to deal with it no more. So, yeah. I think that's the end of our time. So, I'm going to make another one now. If you guys like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification subscribe button. And we're almost in spring. It's about to be almost about melting just now. So, that's it. See you later.